How can we identify hate speech? Is it a joker card people play to silence their opponents in today's online debates? After our last clip from ICA, many of you asked us to say more about the research on defining hate speech. So I invited Dr. Maciej Kulik from the Laboratory of the New Ethos at the Warsaw University of Technology to tell us more about what the hate speech really is and what Aristotle has to do with it.
Imagine that every second thousands of new comments appear on the internet. Most of them are ordinary conversations, sometimes jokes, sometimes emotional reactions.
Trump is now President of the United States. President Obama.
But some of these words can truly hurt. Not just insult, but take away someone's dignity. And here comes the question. How do we actually know when a word becomes hate speech? Social media platforms like X or Facebook have entire teams of moderators and use artificial intelligence to detect such content. The problem is that these systems usually rely on simple lists of so-called protected characteristics, groups that must not be insulted. For example, race, gender, religion, or sexual orientation. Sounds reasonable, right? But this solution has a serious flaw. What about people who are attacked individually? Not because they belong to any group, but simply because someone wants to hurt them. Or what about groups that aren't on the list, but still become targets of hate?
If you are a white, straight, middle-aged man, you are now, in my contention, the most oppressed demographic in Britain.
This gap was noticed by the researchers from the Laboratory of the New Ethos at the Warsaw University of Technology. Instead of another list of banned words, we proposed something completely different, an ethical definition of hate speech.
Say what?
Not legal, not technical, but philosophical. Our idea goes all the way back to Aristotle, and it's truly groundbreaking. According to Aristotle, hatred is not an emotion, but an act of will. The desire to cause harm to another person. And that's the key to this new definition. Hate speech is not just vulgarity or rudeness. It's speech that causes unjust harm by judging people according to criteria that have nothing to do with the morality of their actions. In other words, it's not about someone being angry or impolite, it's about someone treating another person as someone unworthy of respect. Let's show this in simple examples. Ha ha ha. You posted a link to an article on cave diving. Can't you do anything right, you buffoon? Sounds unpleasant, but this is criticism of behavior. Laughing at the mistake, not at the person as such. This is not hate speech. Not yet. Let's look at the next one. The only worthless here is you. Good job outing yourself. Here, it's no longer about an action. It's about the person themselves. This is hate speech, because it strips the person of dignity. Our research group tested the new definition on the real data. We selected 30 sentences from various datasets, ranging from neutral to explicitly hateful. Another example. Cory Booker, are you in a competition with Sen Kamala Harris to see who is the more hysterical woman at the Kavanaugh confirmation? This example shows an attack based on gender. A sexist remark that clearly constitutes hate speech. Geez, I think North Korea may be right. Barack Obama is a monkey. Surely act like one. This is a racist statement that also dehumanizes the person attacked. These are examples of hate speech. But then, there's a comment like, what to do with elitist assholes who do not allow anybody else to edit certain pages? People such as Alkivar must get rid of elitism. Wikipedia is democracy for the contribution of ideas. It's vulgar, yes, but it concerns specific actions. It's criticism, not dehumanization. Or, liberals change the facts to fit their deluded narrative. Intelligent people change the narrative to fit the facts. Here, someone suggests that people holding certain political views, liberals, are simply stupid. It may sound like hate speech, but not according to the New Ethos definition. The subject of criticism here is a way of arguing, something under the control of the criticized person. The proposed definition was then tested in practice, both by the experts and ordinary internet users. And something interesting happened. It turned out that ordinary users were actually better at recognizing hate speech according to the new definition. Accuracy reached nearly 80%, higher than in the definition used by Facebook or even the European Union. Why? Because this new definition is very intuitive. You don't need to know a list of protected groups. You just ask, does this comment judge someone for what they did or for who they are? If it's the latter, we're dealing with hate speech. This simple shift from protecting groups to protecting human dignity can completely change how artificial intelligence detects hate online. This way, algorithms won't favor some groups or overlook others, and every person, no matter who they are, will gain equal protection against unjust attacks. And that's what's the most fascinating about Daniel Ito's research. A philosophy from 2,500 years ago helps us solve the problems of artificial intelligence in the 21st century. Because hate speech doesn't always yell in all caps, and it doesn't always use ugly words. Sometimes it's a calm sentence that quietly says, as this meme, we are not the same. And as Aristotle reminded us, each of us deserves to be judged by our actions, not by who we are.